You know, what's really interesting here is a lot of people yesterday thought they had this storm down pat, and or at least they knew what in general where the storm was going to go. But today things are a lot different than yesterday. Winter weather forecaster Stephen Boyle. Let me tell you, things have gotten colder today. Now, I could see tomorrow how things go back west. Today they're way east. Tomorrow I could see how things are back west. I could see that. Because the models don't know what this energy is going to do yet. But things start late Sunday night, early Monday. And it starts with this piece of energy here. What's going to happen? Now, the GFS is like, you know what? I mean, in relative terms, this is a pretty strong jet. I'll give it that. I'll give the GFS that. But the GFS says, you know what? This is going to weaken. It's going to weaken as it goes east. And if that's the case, then we probably won't be talking about as intense of an injection of cold air, which wouldn't be a good thing. Okay? But the Euro is saying, no, no. no, we're going to be, look at this jet over Pennsylvania. Yeah, you got 60 to 70 knots of winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere, right over the near the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Somebody's thumping away along or north of I-80. Somebody's thumping really good if the Euro is right. Look at this. Now, this is 6 hours later. This isn't like 12 hours. So this is moving very, very fast. Long Island, 70-knot jet. I mean, someone in here is going to be thumping away. So, if I were to have to go with some preliminary estimates with this, 1 to 3 inches. But that's in a 3-hour period, folks. Okay? Because this is 7 a.m. on Monday. This is 1 a.m. Look it's racing. And by like 1 p.m. Monday, it's way offshore. So this is just racing. So in 12 hours, it goes from western Pennsylvania to just south of Nova Scotia. Yeah, that's very, very fast. Okay, so the snow is probably not going to last more than 2 or 3 hours. Okay, but if we can get snow falling at a rate of like an inch or two an hour within that 2 or 3 hours, we would be talking about a major thumping. And that's my concern. So I think there's going to be some surprises with this based upon the energy. Now, if the GFS is right, we'd be talking about widespread coatings. And also, if the GFS is right, we wouldn't be talking about as intense of an Arctic injection or cold air injection. And plus, on top of it, I want you to look at the Euro for a minute. See this piece of energy in here? This is another little cold front that would be sweeping around the base of this trough. And guess what would end up happening? Another fresh injection of cold air before this little guy comes. And this is what produces our big storm next week. But the GFS says, nah, that's not really going to happen. Okay. But I want you to look at this. Look at this surface map. Let me tell you, man, this is... If you want a major snowstorm in the East Coast, this is it. I mean, look at this. You've got a high over southern Canada. This is what you want. You've got fresh cold air. That's your first ingredient for a major snowstorm. Second ingredient is a storm. You actually need a storm. If you don't have a storm, you're not going to get a major snowstorm. You see that? You've got the storm. That's the problem with our previous injection of cold air that we got the weekend. We didn't have a storm. Our storm was behind the high pressure, to where you've got the storm in front of the high pressure. So guess what? You've got a really good shot here, because the cold air is coming in before the storm it's not coming in too late, but it's not coming in too early either. So this is perfect. This is a perfect. So you have your cold air in place. You have your storm in place. The only thing that's not certain would be the storm track, and also where the pieces of energy will be, because there's a lot of pieces that you gotta look at. Okay, and here it is. Okay, you've got your southern stream energy, you've got your northern stream energy. The biggest question, how far south and east is this going to be? Or how far north and west is this going to be? The further south and east, the further east this gets pushed out. So we don't want this. I'd like to see this slightly more to the west. So this gets allowed to, what would end up happening is you would end up getting this strengthening. So then what would end up happening is you would be taking the storm closer to the coast. Okay? But if this is right, where you have this trough in here, you'd probably be taking it a little bit to the east of the benchmark here. Okay? And you probably wouldn't get as of an intense storm here. Okay? Here's a GFS. GFS is also a little different as well, but it's got the trough in the same area. Okay, the same general region. But what it's doing is it's stronger with this, or the northern stream energy, stronger with this. And what it's also doing is it's taking some of this northern stream energy and bringing it into the southern stream. So then what ends up happening is this storm strengthens a little too early, so it starts cutting off, and the storm goes a little bit further to the west. So it takes a track something like that over in and around Cape Cod. Okay. So there's many different possibilities. And yesterday the models were taking the storm up the Appalachians. So there's many different possibilities. This is not a snow map, by the way. If you think this is a snow map, you're crazy. This is just showing where do you have the highest and lowest possibilities of a snowstorm. Right now, 4 inches or more is what I'm thinking as a snowstorm. Okay. I don't know if this is going to be a blockbuster. Okay, but I don't think this is going to be a light event either. Probably somewhere in between. If you live in the dark blue areas or better, you're what I consider in a good spot for a snowstorm right now. Okay. Whoops. So I would include the regions or the areas I would include for the greatest chance of a snowstorm right now: Boston, New York City. I wouldn't include Philly. I wouldn't include Baltimore and DC. No. We've got Hartford. We've got York, PA. We've got State College, Buffalo. I would include Pittsburgh. I would go ahead and include Charleston, West Virginia. I would include all of New Hampshire, all of Maine, all of Vermont, Western and Central and Eastern New York. Well, actually, Central and Eastern New York. The Poconos, most of Northern Jersey. Okay. and I would also include the Erie, Pennsylvania area. Okay. Now where do I think that I would have to probably shave off a little bit? In here. This is where I would probably have to shave off a little bit. But I'm not ready to disclude Pittsburgh. I'm not ready to disclude Buffalo. I'm not ready to disclude, I'm not ready yet. I want to keep them in the moderate to high regions. I'm not ready to go low risk yet for a snowstorm. Nor am I ready to bring this highest risk into the Boston area, Providence, down to New York City. I'm not ready to bring the medium to Washington, D.C. and over into Philly. No. Now, granted, I did do a few minor changes since yesterday because I was planning on doing this yesterday. Yesterday, I had the highest going up like this. Based upon what I'm seeing and what the 500 millibar heights are telling me, it's going to be colder. So you're going to probably have a storm further to the east. So, I shaved off going out and through all of western New York, okay, for the highest. Also, I went a little south and east in New England. And what I did was yesterday, I had it kind of coming up like this. So I didn't really, Worcester was right on the line yesterday, and I didn't include coastal Maine or coastal New Hampshire. Today I went ahead and went further to the south and east. So now I brought it back. I brought the snows, this highest risk, back to 495, so I could include all of New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont. Okay, and we've got a good portion of Massachusetts in there. Okay, and northwestern Connecticut. Okay, I'm not ready to bring this high down into this high risk down into New York City yet either. Not yet. So still there's a lot of questions. Where do I think the storm is going to end up tracking? Well, first of all, there's going to be changes, but right now the furthest west I see it is going like this. The furthest east I see it is going something like this. Okay. Something like, so again, this doesn't really change. South and east of the benchmark, which is right in here. That's your general swath of where I could see the storm tracking. So we'll see. Okay. I do think within the next few days, now the Canadian is already showing this, but I think some of the bigger models, GFS or Euro, or its ensembles, I think could be showing something relatively large within the next few days. Something, because based upon what I'm looking at here, remember, let's go back. Look at this. This is perfect. So we'll see. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. No, not necessarily. Okay. But all I'm trying to say is there's going to be changes. Tomorrow, guess where the track could be? Way back here. Okay. Tomorrow, if the Euro is like, you know what, this high is further south and east, I could see it going even further out. Okay, which is why I'm not ready to shave off this slight risk down in here and say, you know what, these folks are not getting snow at all. Okay, so there's a lot of possibilities. There really is. Okay, now as the risk of the chance of it going out to sea right now is very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. But it's possible. We cannot disregard it. So we'll see what happens. But there's a lot of changes. Remember the windshield wiper effect. You want to kind of stand your middle ground and where you think the storm is going to be. Okay. We'll see what happens. But let me tell you, things are going to get interesting with this. And I think this is gonna perhaps, if things can come together, this will be the big. This could be one of our bigger storms this season. Okay, we'll see what happens. But questions, comments down below. I will answer any of your any questions you have. And I will be back hopefully by tomorrow or Saturday, when things will start coming together, and I'll probably make a snow map for the Sunday event, either by tomorrow or Saturday. Okay. Have a good rest of your day, and have a good Friday. Have a good one.